Good morning, everyone. Um, Welcome to another Coffee and Chess. And starting a little bit later than I normally do. I woke up a little bit later, but I have the coffee brewing. And why don't we take a look at the daily puzzle today? Just kind of warm up the brain here. Um, this one is called Pry, and it's black to move. And I'm seeing like things here. Things are being seen. Um, but I guess we just start with pawn takes. I don't think white has any threats outside of taking the rook, but the knight is pinned to this rook here. So I could take that rook with check. Then the king can run. I could take it with check, and the king can run. Or I can deliver a check on d1. But the knight would cover it because the knight would be here on e3. That's no good. Queen d2. King runs away here. There's a way to stop the king from running. Yeah, like if bishop here, if the knight were to take, you could take with the pawn. That would stop the king from running to f2. And then I guess the king would have to move to c1. And then you'd have queen check. King runs away this way. I don't really see any other forcing moves, I think, besides this. And if takes, it just kind of fixes white's pawns. Captures. Knight takes first. Queen take. Bishop takes knight first, and then queen takes, and then pawn takes this way. Thank you, darling. Coffee has arrived. Ooh, that's hot. All right. Bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes with check. King runs this way. Queen check here. King here. Rook check. If pawn takes, you have rook check here. That's some sort of checkmate. If the king takes, well, rook here we get covered by two different pawns. Not sure that's leading to a mate. So after king f2, takes, check, king e1. Takes. Rook takes. These puzzles are hard when they give you like a ton of options. Bishop takes, queen takes, pawn takes, check, king f1, king e1. After king e1, queen d2 check, king f2, now that move would be just as silly. Takes. Boom. Queen here. Check. Rook. Check. Lose all my pieces. Takes. Queen here with threatened mate. And then you have to trade queens. Like if I can get a rook or a queen over here, that'd be pretty good. But this queen kind of stops everything. I don't know. Hint, bishop, yeah. Bishop takes seems like the right way to go. It's like I can only calculate a few moves and then I get lost from here. Because if queen here, get king here, right? And everything's kind of covered and defended. Like the bishop covers the pawn, the rook defends the bishop. Like after rook takes, bishop and queen actually cover that pawn. So I really can't take this pawn if my queen is on d1 or d2 for that matter. Because either way, the king runs to f2. And if I were to check, I've been over this line, I think. If I were to check if king takes, I still have nothing. Don't know what other moves I would have here. What other moves would I have in this position? It is the rook. What would the move be? Take the pawn? Alright, so let's say I took the pawn. And let's say queen takes. I guess then you got check. And if the queen takes, I got a passed pawn. But the king can just move here and block it, right? Then I'm in trouble. I almost feel like getting this pawn back on the d file and promoting it's the play, but check here. Rook takes. Queen takes. Nah. Rook. It's the only forcing move here. Queen takes. Yeah, it can't be that move. I guess rook here to stop the king from running to f2. Probably. And then is this just mate right here? Okay. Too early in the morning. What happens if you don't take the rook? I guess if you don't take your rook, you can put your queen here and lose the queen. This move's coming next. So I guess there's no way to really stop this move. I guess queen here. Rook takes. Pawn takes. And that still kind of opens up like your king for a check. Check, yeah. And then everything gets pretty bad for white there. Okay, now that we're warmed up with that, let's try a 15-minute game with a 10-second increment. We're 1369. Let's see what we got. And the white pieces. Of course, we play e4. e5 expected. Okay, so we got the French here. I remember looking briefly at a certain line in the French, but it gets kind of weird, I think. We can try it. Something about knight c3. There's also, I'm just going to push this pawn. There's also a trick move here, I think, right? Bishop here takes. Knight. The main move here would be to support this pawn. So I already missed my chance for knight c3. Knight here takes. Bishop c5. Can develop my bishop. All right, let's play c3 anyway, because it's a good move. Okay. Threatening to take. I think we defend here. And then queen b6. And I think this is a trap move. So if bishop d3 here, if he decides to take, I got this check move. We're going to try it. I don't think he'll fall for it because he's 1439, but maybe he will. Okay, that's a good move for us, I think. So I'm thinking we just move our bishop here to c3. Castle. Now we got this nice, like, blocked up center here. I don't think there's much else to do. Let's castle. Maybe put in an H. The knight's got to go somewhere. Maybe we reroute the knight like all the way to g3. We got a lot of time. We don't want to move this bishop because it's kind of defending this pawn. His bishop's also blocked in by his knight. And I guess I kind of cover his knight with my bishop. Might still play knight here anyway. Takes. Okay. Let's see here. What do we want to do? This move is not a threat. This move's not really a threat. Maybe rook e1 to bring my knight over. I could also think about pushing this move, pushing this pawn. I don't know, let's play rook e1 because I want to try and maneuver my knight. I don't know if it's even good maneuver. I mean, my other options are like nothing. Okay, so he's going to castle. His bishop doesn't have anywhere to go. We'll let him castle. Knight here I don't think is anything. We're just going to maneuver this knight. I'm not sure what it's going to do over here. Okay, I think that's a good move for me, right? Weakening his king. I almost feel like taking it's necessary. Otherwise, he takes. I can take, and he's got a bunch of people on there. If takes with the bishop. Still doesn't do a whole lot, but I guess it makes e5 pretty hard to deal with. Knight here. Takes. I could also consider just throwing this in first, then takes. Damage his pawns. Get these double pawns here. Let's take this knight. Maybe I can get some sort of like queen infiltration or rook lift in the future. That'd be cool. Now this is like a big trade. So taking would undouble his pawns, and I don't want to do that. This knight is going to have nowhere to go because of this pawn. That's probably fine. And I might even move my knight here. In the case he takes, maybe I should wait a move. I can move my queen here and target the pawn. How does he defend? All right, I'm going to target this pawn with the queen. King h7. I guess he could also push his f-pawn. That allows me to be able to... Oh, he wouldn't move king. That allows me to be able to get my knight here. Or maybe even my bishop. Maybe not my bishop, though. But if knight here and bishop takes, queen takes b2, it's kind of an important pawn. I'm going to start with queen c2, just put a threat. Put a threat out there. Maybe I make like ignoring something in the center. I don't know. I got two defenders. I'm not too worried. Can't really add another defender unless he moves his queen back. Okay, so we do see pawn f5. Space is getting a little cramped, but that's kind of it. Okay, now maybe queen d2. Eyeing at getting over here somehow. Actually, my queen does defend this pawn. So now I do have bishop. Bishop g5. Maybe knight g5. Knight here. Don't have an ultimate plan. I almost have this move. Play bishop here. We trade. I could think about lifting my rook. Then my queens could be tied down to the B pawn. I could maybe think about lifting my rook anyway. Then he could push this pawn. If I play G3, I can prepare. And then he just takes. Is knight here any good? I don't know. I mean, if I just plant my knight here, he doesn't. I don't really have a threat right away. I could also consider pushing this. I can also consider bishop here as a blockade, but it's not a very good piece. All right, let's just do this because I'm kind of losing a lot of time. I spent 3 minutes and didn't come up with a good move here. Like maybe the play is just to like bring my rook over here and just try and fight on this side. Okay, it's interesting. Okay. Trading is probably fine for me. If I don't, I lose a piece. So let's just trade. This knight's going to be annoying. Okay, so now what? Queen here, pawn down. This pawn push is a little bit annoying. But I guess I can't do much with my knight here. Maybe I just need to bring my knight over and look for ways of breaking through. Nothing really to break through over here on. Okay. We're going to bring my knight over. We're going to go for this b3 pawn break. Then maybe I can get my knight in there. Probably looking to do something like this. We're going to ignore it. I'm going to assume that our attack is a little faster. Maybe he thinks about bringing his queen here. That'd be weird. Takes. That'd be bad for him. I mean, he's got more space with his pawns, but he does have these pieces that kind of can't really do anything. But at the same time, it's kind of hard for my pieces to do anything. Okay, interesting. So if I take, he's just going to take back. Okay. Rook on the open file. Can't be bad. He's probably got this move. Not worried. Rook to an open file. Maybe we can push this pawn. Maybe I'm going to get my queen out here. Knight here, queen here. Queen here, defend the knight, maybe. Okay. Covering that spot. So knight here. Push my pawn, knight here. I can also pin the bishop. Then I guess he's got rook here. Rook here. Takes. Got rook here again. I could back it up with the queen. I mean, he did undefend this b7 square, so I should try to make use of it somehow, right? Now he might play knight e5. Actually, I guess he's got knight e5. I guess I don't have a good response for that. If knight e5, rook b4, rook, he just takes. Okay, this rook move I don't mind, because I can just double. And we'll just pre-move that in case he just trades rooks. Give me a few more time on the clock. I'm not sure I have a concrete threat here, but I am making it kind of, I don't know, I'm just trying to do something to make it a little scary for him. I do got to worry about back rank, but I guess I don't, because I do have this knight here that can jump back to the f1 square. If he does move his knight, I think I could just take the rook. So he has to trade rooks here, or he can move his rook away. If he, I guess if he did play knight, knight e5, do I queen e4? Takes with check. Takes. Nah, I have no way of getting my my piece back. I think I just lose a piece there. Okay, with the rooks off the board, I'm a little less worried. If he wants to try for rook b8, then I have the choice of like trading and then shifting the queen. Okay, maybe aiming for this square here. Here, 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 here. That'd be a good move at all. So I could also get a check in if this queen ever moves. Queen here. Queen here, maybe? The bishop is pinned to the king. We got to remember that. This feels like it could be a good move. But if queen c8... then I got nothing. I can probably do queen here. Then he's got knight e5. Queen a4. Queen c8. Knight check. Might do something. I would be walking into some sort of trick if I move my rook away. Queen, check. Yeah, and then I got this move. Unless he moves king here. But then maybe I have like a queen here. Queen here. There is rook. Knight takes. Well, knight takes with check. Something about this doesn't seem right. I don't think this is the right move. And this is probably where I lose. I do have this. I do have takes with check, which is a big difference here. But his bishop's pinned. I was thinking queen here. If queen here, then I have this check, and then if king here, then I'm not so sure. Okay, he moves out of the way. Guess he could also do that too. So now I have potential sack here. He still can't really take knight takes because I got this queen move. Knight here is too slow. Can I take this? I mean, is that really doing anything for me? Take with check. Not really doing a whole lot here. Knight here. It wouldn't be check as pawns here. Knight here, knight here. We'll make some room for my king just to get some time. Maybe even just move my king. I don't think he's got any moves. He might, if he plays rook here, then he's got something. It's probably a really sharp line. I might have to just bail. Bring my queen back. Get my rook out of there. Which I might just do that. I mean, he's got this takes now. Now that I think about it, now that the king's no longer there for the check, he does have knight takes. Okay. So we are going to just get our rook. We're going to move our rook back. He's got knight takes here. We're going to move our queen back somewhere. Queen here. Maybe even rook back here. Cover this pawn. If he doesn't take this, I guess if he takes this, I do have queen takes here. So maybe it's not all bad. Right here, maybe? Maybe I can start pushing this pawn. His knight's under attack, so he's got to bring it back. Then I'll probably play queen b7. Very low on time. Not a big fan of my position right now. We have to take. Maybe king g2. Is this a move? I guess this just blunders a piece, right? Because he just takes. Yeah. I think my brain's running out of power here. So that's basically that. But we do got this move in here. Check king g2. I might have even still been fine in that position. Okay, we're still going to play king g2. Pretty much he's got my knight locked down. That's okay. We're going to trade it anyway. Okay, so let's see. How do I push this pawn? I kind of want to stalemate here, right? So looking for a way to stalemate here. I guess this move is just mate. I can block it. I can take with mate. But will he see it? Probably. He does not. Interesting. We will. This pawn take. This pawn takes. Okay. All right, good game. Took him a little while to checkmate there. Yeah, one blunder. I just blundered my rook. I was probably still doing fine. Yeah, I think I started looking at the clock and I stopped thinking. Like I was crushing. That's just a blunder. I guess just moving my knight. Let's see what the analysis is here. 95. My position is really good. I'm gonna have this knight on this great square, attacking these two. I got this passed pawn. I control this open file. His bishop's not very good. It's blocked by all his pawns, almost all his pawns. Yeah. Knight here would probably force his bishop back here or something. If it forces bishop, then I'd have this move. For some reason I was thinking like, I'm pinning and skewering, and that's why I'm 1356. Terrible. Terrible. Queen a8. Probably just trying to like... That would just blunder his bishop, right? I do have knight takes, g6. um, f4, h4, start pushing the pawns down. I would probably think about pushing this pawn, which computer probably doesn't like, but you know, the computer says I'm up so much material. 3, 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We got the same amount of pawns. We both have a piece. We both have a rook. But I have this one pass pawn. And like that one pass pawn, I guess, makes the difference. Like my position's so good. It's a mistake because it allows my knight to jump in. So here it wants me to start playing moves. I was always thinking of h4. But I never really thought like what it's gonna do unless it just allows me to plant my knight here. Which is probably good. Okay, let's just look at the opening real quick here. Yeah, so this is a trap that, you know, people probably aren't going to fall for. But it's not like it's a trap as in like it's a bad play, because like it's still a book move here. It still wants c takes d4. And instead of me capturing back, it actually wants me to castle, which is crazy. I can take back. It's still a book move. But then, like, bishop d7. You know. These closed positions are really difficult to figure out, like, where your pieces should go, because when you have, like, nowhere to really go, it's hard to come up with any idea. I guess he was coming up with this plan of trying to gang up on this pawn. Maybe the whole time I can just throw my h-pawn up the board. Now I can't throw my h-pawn up the board. It still says I could play h4, actually. Why could I still play h4 here? Knight takes. Bishop takes. Queen g4. Oh, yeah. And the bishop can't go back and defend because of this pawn. So if the bishop went back to e7, I get queen takes g7, rook f8, bishop takes h7, and his whole king side comes down. Okay. I'll remember that for next time. If I play the French again, and I get in this position, I got to start launching my h-pawn. This knight maneuver. So this whole rook e1 knight maneuver thing really isn't any good, because this knight doesn't really do anything. The whole game it didn't really do a whole lot. I moved this knight to d2, to f1, and then back to d2, and it stayed there pretty much the whole game. And even if I maneuvered it to f1 here, it's like the knight can't really do anything, especially after this capture. Still wants me to throw h4 down the board. Like this whole game, the computer's screaming at me to throw h4. I get it, h4. And h4, and instead of throwing pawns down this way, I should be throwing my pawns at the king. Still wants h4. Okay. All right, h4, h4. Okay. I get it. h4. h4, guys. h4. And I could have done h4 here. Okay, what if he played something different? I don't know. What if he, like, he played here instead? Maybe I'm in no rush to castle. See, now it wants me to play b3. But, like, let's say I did castle, and he played his knight here. Probably not good. I'd probably just take that. See, his kingside development's really hard to develop. Like, maybe he should have played here. I don't know if this is any good for him. And then I'm probably not throwing my h-pawn down there anymore. If he castle queenside, then start pawn breaking here. h6. Queen e2. Yeah, I would never think of any of this in a game. This is kind of... I guess the plan is just this pawn. I suppose this move stops the knight. All right. Well, that's all the time I have for today. And thank you, everybody, so much for watching. And I'll study more on this French stuff during the week. Try to remember to throw my h-pawn down the board. With that said, thank you, everybody, and I'll see you next Saturday.